We're back with Forever Ago. I'm Joy.
And I'm Lilike. Today we're talking about the history of the rainbow flag.
Pride parades first started in 1970, but the Rainbow Pride flag came about almost 10 years later.
Before the break, we were talking about how in the late 1970s, many queer people were afraid to let others know they were queer. But some people felt like being seen and known was the only way to win.
One of those people was Harvey Milk. He was a trailblazing politician who's had books, movies, and even a U.S. postage stamp made in his honor.
But before all that, he was just a guy who loved his neighborhood. He opened a camera shop right in the middle of an area called the Castro, which was the center of gay life in the city.
Harvey was outgoing and outspoken. He cared a lot about his new home and wanted to make it better.
He decided to run for city government, and the camera shop became campaign headquarters.
Hey, Harvey.
Hey, Ann.
What are you working on today?
Oh, just making some flyers for my campaign for the Board of Supervisors. I bet I'll win with my beginner's luck.
Right on. Well, you got my vote.
He ran in 1973 and lost by a lot.
Darn. So close.
Hang in there, Harvey.
He tried again a couple of years later.
You always do better the second time around, I say.
And he lost again.
Aw, man.
Darn.
But it was closer. He didn't give up.
2 years later, he ran again and won!
Woohoo!
You did it!
Harvey!
I knew it. Third time's the charm.
Harvey's election was a huge deal. He was one of the very first queer elected officials in the entire country.
Not only did Harvey help his neighborhood, he fought back against the unfair laws targeting the queer community.
Especially the one we heard about earlier that would have banned gay and lesbian people from teaching in California's public schools.
The people who supported this law were spreading lies about queer people, like they were bad and dangerous.
Harvey felt like the best way for queer people to prove these lies were wrong was for them to stop hiding and tell the truth about who they were. Then, once people realized that they already knew someone who was queer, they would stop believing those lies.
But Harvey knew that coming out would be hard and scary for people, especially with the way things were going that year. He wanted to inspire them with a symbol, something that would make them feel proud and a part of a community.
But the symbol had to be both simple and powerful, something everyone could rally behind. The queer community needed the perfect design, and Harvey wasn't a designer. Luckily, he knew someone who was. Enter Gilbert Baker.
Gilbert was a good friend of Harvey's. He was born in Kansas, and when he was a kid, he would go to work with his grandma, who owned a woman's clothing shop.
While she worked at her sewing machine, Gilbert drew beautiful gowns and costumes, and he imagined bringing them to life.
But his parents thought that he should be playing with building blocks or joining sports teams.
Gilbert didn't feel like he fit in Kansas, so after he turned 18, he signed up for the Army as a medic and was sent to San Francisco.
Once he was there, Gilbert finally bought his very own sewing machine.
He'd spend hours sitting at it, surrounded by colorful fabric, finally piecing together the beautiful outfits he'd dreamed of as a kid back in Kansas.
Gilbert was known throughout the neighborhood as someone who could whip up a creative banner for your protest or march.
Or a fabulous outfit for your next drag performance.
So when Harvey Milk needed a new symbol for the queer movement, he turned to his friend Gilbert.
Gilbert said yes, and right away decided he didn't want to make another poster or banner. He wanted to make a flag.
He is often quoted as saying flags have power. He saw that, armies will march into battle under a banner representing their country, their tribe, their kingdom.
That's Charlie Beale. He's the president of the Gilbert Baker Foundation, an organization that works to tell the story of Gilbert Baker and the rainbow flag.
Charlie says Gilbert was all in on the flag idea, but there was one teeny tiny problem. He had no idea what to put on it. Should it have words on it? Or pictures?
Maybe it could have a drawing of a bird leaving a cage, like when Gilbert left Kansas.
Or maybe it should be something simpler, 1 or 2 colors arranged in a geometric pattern.
Gilbert was stuck. He couldn't find the right idea, but then the right idea found him. One night, Gilbert was at a dance club called the Wonderland Ballroom.
There, he saw all types of people dancing together under a great big disco ball. There were hippies and poets and bikers and punks.
people of all ages and all genders.
To Gilbert, the dance floor looked like a rainbow of humanity.
That's it. The flag will be a rainbow. So simple, so perfect.
Gilbert put out a call for volunteers, and a couple dozen people showed up to help make 2 flags to debut at the 1978 Pride Parade.
All right, everybody. First, we're gonna need fabric. A lot of it.
How's this?
We need more, much more. Next, we're going to need to fill those buckets with fabric dye.
Is this enough?
No way, we're making 2 flags, and they're gonna be big. Big enough to park 9 cars on each one.
Excuse me?
Big enough to cover 10 bowling lanes.
Say what now?
Big enough to obscure half a baseball diamond.
Pardon?
Big enough to...
No, we get it. It was more of a rhetorical kind of, what?
Oh, perfect. I'm out of comparisons.
Gilbert and the volunteers cut and dyed the strips of fabric one by one. Then they lugged the giant wet bundles of fabric to the laundromat to rinse and dry them.
Finally, working together through the night, Gilbert and his friends sewed the flags together by hand, and they were as big as he promised.
Big as 9 cars, 10 bowling lanes, and half a baseball diamond.
Yeah, big. These original flags had 8 colors: hot pink, red, orange, yellow, green, turquoise, indigo, and violet.
The parade was coming up soon, and Gilbert didn't have a permit to fly these giant flags, but he had talked his way into getting the keys for the flagpole where the parade would end.
So a few days before the celebration, early in the morning, they hauled the massive flags out and hooked them to the poles.
Okay, the coast is clear.
Coast is clear. Check.
Begin operation, flying colors.
Roger that. Quick, turn the crank.
Up and up and up, the flags unfurled with the wind. But, uh-oh, this wasn't just a gentle breeze. San Francisco is famous for its strong winds that come off the bay.
No, our flags!
Ooh, they look like they're about to rip apart.
Quick, bring them down, bring them down!
Now what are we gonna do?
Luckily, Gilbert remembered that there was a flag company just down the street from his apartment. They ran across town and got the flags reinforced just in time for the parade a few days later.
Gilbert held his breath when the flags were raised for the second time. Would people understand this new symbol? Would they like it? Would they think it was cheesy or ugly? Would the flags even survive the wind?
Look, up there.
The flags! They're beautiful!
Radical.
Gilbert watched the faces around him light up when they saw his flags for the first time.
He knew instantly this new symbol was here to stay.
And stay it has. Today, almost 50 years later, the rainbow flag is everywhere. Charlie, the president of the Gilbert Baker Foundation, says it's still an incredibly important tool for helping people feel seen and welcomed.
That's really what the rainbow flag is about. It's to help people come out. It's to see that symbol on a cafe and know, oh, I'm welcome here. I'll be safe here.
We asked some friends of the show about what seeing the pride flag means to them.
What the pride flag means to me is representation. It shows the importance of being seen within the world. And it shows a unity within our communities. It's a flag that we can continue to build on to keep showing the wonderful diversity that this wonderful and brilliant community has.
I think when I see a pride flag, I really feel just like connected and safe to kind of see someone in my community. And it's just like seeing that flag can really just, it like uplifts my spirit. And it's like, hey, there's like someone I know that would support me if I told them I was gay or I was trans or whatever. And I think that's really inspirational because it just makes a community even stronger by even just showing a flag.
Whenever I walk into somewhere that has a pride flag, I let out like a sigh of relief, and also it's just really easy to talk to someone and like get to know someone, be friends with someone, go to some place often when you know that they accept all types of people.
The pride flag was always something that was important to me, even though I'm a straight person, cisgendered person. but really became personal as my two kids realized and sort of came out as gay and non-binary. And suddenly this flag that held meaning became, something that I really valued because it stood in many ways for our family. So I'm grateful every time I see a pride flag or a non-binary flag or something out there that says, we see you, we appreciate you, we value you, and you're part of our community.
To me, it's like immediate comfort and relief because I feel like I will be accepted there. It just feels like, I'm grounded there.
Today, there are lots of different flags to represent all kinds of queer identities.
And new ones are being created all the time.
The original pride flag has undergone some changes too.
Right. Pink and turquoise were more expensive dye colors, so Gilbert changed the design from 8 colors to the 6 we have today.
It turns out Gilbert's hunch was right. Flags can make people feel brave and part of a community. He saw some of these new flags in his lifetime and was delighted. He always said that people should fly the flag that speaks to them. Whew! I love doing this episode with you, Lilike. Thank you so much for sending us this idea.
Of course.
Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Make sure to check out all our great podcasts, Brains On, Smash Boom Best, Forever Ago, and Moment of See you next time. If you're enjoying this video and are looking for more Brains On, check out our podcasts. We've got Brains On, Smash Boom Best, Forever Ago, and Moment of available wherever you get your podcasts. And if you're craving even more curious content, then our Smarty Pass program is perfect for you. Enjoy exclusive access to ad-free episodes, bonus episodes, special discounts on events and merchandise, and a unique thank you gift delivered right to your doorstep. All this for just $3.99 a month, or save with an annual subscription for only $36. Visit smartypass.org today, and thank you for supporting our show.